Okay, let's do a really quick run through of our Blackboard site. So what I'm doing right now is I'm screencasting my screen as I look at the Blackboard page, and obviously your screen is going to look a little bit different from mine, but it'll be mostly the same, and hopefully we can get through everything that you need to do. Okay, we're starting with the home page. Now this may look very different for you than for me, but what I do want you to do, and should be able to follow my cursor here, is always look at this announcements page. I'll be emailing you every week, sometimes more than once a week, with announcements for that week or just a reminder of what you need to do. You can always find old announcements here in this announcements tab on the main page. You should be getting those as emails as well. So, moving on from there, the course home is going to be essentially the exact same thing. Syllabus information, the next tab, and I've already opened them up here for you. What you find there is a copy of the syllabus, which you should read in detail, and which I went over in detail in the first video that you watched for this week. Our grading philosophy and procedures, just a little bit more expansion of the syllabus, and then here you've got the syllabus sort of already printed out for you on this page. If you have any questions about those things, see the video before about the syllabus or shoot me an email. The next tab down is the game plan. That's kind of just our overview for the whole semester. Please refer to this. The first thing is just an overview. Here's what's going to be due. You have project drafts. Whenever you've got a project due for my feedback, they'll be due on the Sunday of the week that they're due. Project peer editing, peer review, and comments due to peers, those will be due to your peers on Thursdays. Comments to your peers will be due on Sundays of the week that they are due. We'll look at that a little bit more in just a second. Discussion forum posts. If you've got weekly work in a discussion forum, then those posts will be due on the same schedule. Your initial post will be due Thursday, and then on Sundays, your comments to your peers will be due. So essentially, you're working on the same schedule all the time. Journals also due on Sundays. If it's something that I need to see and give you credit for or feedback on, it's due on a Sunday. If it's something that you need to collaborate with your peers for, it's due on a Thursday. That gives you the weekend and a couple of days during the work week in order to work with one another. Okay, and when I say Thursdays and Sundays, I mean the end of the day, 11:59 p.m. All right, moving on down to sort of broader strokes on the whole semester. Here you've got the schedule of the writing assignments and the projects. Project 1 peer review will be week 3. That means that you have until Thursday of week 3 to write your very first draft of the very first project. More details there. Oh, and I will make this change here. It says fall 2014. Obviously we're in 2015, but it's the same schedule. So that means that peer review will happen that week. 1 week later, you get a chance to revise based on peer review, and you submit project 1 to me for my feedback by Sunday of week 4. Okay, then the next week, peer review of project 2. Same drill. Then you get a week after peer review, you submit it to me, and we'll continue with that all the way through the end of the semester. Okay, so again, project deadlines will always be due at the end of the day on the Sunday of the week they're due. Peer review and any other work that involves your peers and collaboration will be on a Thursday initial and Sunday critique post schedule. Journals, similarly. Those only come to me, they're due on the Sunday. If you have questions about that, please, please, please email me. Okay. One thing I would advise all of you to do is if you have trouble working through week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, rather than having a calendar date deadline, go ahead and get a calendar out and mark it off for yourselves. Most of your courses will be administered this way, so you will have the same weeks in all of your classes this semester. So if you need to be sure, week 1 starts on August 17th and ends on ends on 7 days later. Week 2 starts the Monday of the next week. Go for it. Okay, discussion forums. Most weeks, not every week, but most weeks you will have discussion forum material to work through. You can click on this link right here, or you can scroll up to the discussions tab, and that'll take you directly to the discussion board, which looks like this. Right now, you'll notice there are 3 posts that you need to reply to for week 1. And that's most of your work this week. It's a response to your past experiences and then to the texts that we'll be looking at in week 1. This is Water from David Foster Wallace, and then Gatto's article Against School. Okay. The other thing that you should pay attention to here, and again, those discussion forums, initial responses due Thursday, comments to your peers due by the end of the day Sunday. Journals, which you can access through this link, or again, come up here to the Journals tab, which will look like this. There will be a journal every week to work on. This is private, only I see it and you. You'll click on Journal 1 for this week before Sunday at the end of the day when it's due, and you'll find instructions. And then I will read it and give you credit. Okay? I won't always give you feedback on the journals. For the most part, this is an exercise in what writing you can do. I will always read it, and if I see something majorly going wrong, I will give you feedback to correct it. But for the most part, you will just get credit for the journals. Ditto the discussion board. This is mostly participation. If I see you participating fully, you'll get credit for that week. If I don't, you won't get credit for that week. If I see something getting out of hand or something that's really interesting, I'll make a comment. But for the most part, this is the place where you guys get to collaborate with one another. Okay, so that's the discussion forums, journals, and then our overall schedule. If you have questions about those things, please let me know. Please refer back to that game plan tab. It's going to be really useful for you. The one thing I didn't go over that is touched on in this game plan tab is the Dropbox, where you will submit all of your assignments to me for my feedback. Again, that is over here on the left-hand side. So in week 4, when you have to turn in project 1 to me for my feedback, so the first time you turn in a project, you'll come to the Dropbox tab before Sunday of that week. You'll click on project 1 draft, and then you will be able to add your assignment. Now, here's the thing. You can click write submission and copy and paste your text there from your Word document. I do not advise this. In fact, I'm going to ask if you do this, you'll get an email from me saying, please send me the original document so I can make comments on it. What I want you to do here, once you're in this screen and trying to submit your project, is click Browse My Computer and upload the file. Send it to me as an attachment. And of course, then you have to click, I agree to submit my papers to the Global Reference Database. That's the safe assignment requirement. If you don't check this box, you won't be able to submit your assignments. So once you've got it there, hit submit, and you're good to go. I have your assignment at that point. Okay. Other tabs that you need to pay attention to, since we're talking about work. The Groups tab is where you will do peer review. There aren't any groups yet because we don't have any peer review groups yet. So when we get to week 3, I'll give you detailed instructions about what to do for peer review, but that is where you will do it. Okay? You'll work in sort of a group blog. Something else that you will need to do this week, and then hopefully refer back to it in another point, is visit this Wikis tab. Now, what I want you to do with the wikis, and we may have other work with wikis as we go through the semester, but for this first week, one of your assignments is to come to this first wiki, our community. Remember, this is going to be a community-based project that we're working on this semester. And you've got detailed instructions there. What I want you to do essentially is introduce yourself. I've taken the first crack at this. This is me, and this is my description of myself. Notice it's just a couple of paragraphs, what I do, what I'm interested in, and what I think you might want to know about me. And I've included a picture of myself. You will want to do this as well. I want a picture of you. I want to know what you look like. I want you all to know what you look like. We don't get to see each other in a classroom, but it really helps to have a human face to put to all of these words. So as you write your entry, I want to know what you're majoring in, what your background is, what you think is important for us to know about you. Give us just a couple of paragraphs on yourself. And that's your assignment in there this week. And if you ever need to come back to the wiki for one of our course assignments, if I tell you to do that, please hit this tab over here on the left. Another tab that you have are the course documents. Now, in course documents, I've uploaded nearly every handout that I have already put into your weekly units, which we'll look at in a second. anything I think you might need to make reference to. You will notice the first two links are MSU's Computer Help Desk. If you're having problems with Blackboard, yes, please do email me and let me know, but you will probably also need to talk to the help desk because they're the only ones that can fix real Blackboard issues. There's also this link, Show Me What's Wrong. If I ask you what's happening, or if you can send me an image of what's going on the screen and a regular screen cap won't capture it, this will allow you to do a screencast the way I'm doing a screencast to you right now. So take advantage of these links. You'll also have a link to an MLA paper template. I will send you back to this again and again, but all of your projects that you submit to me need to follow that template. That will also be in the weekly units. Projects and rubrics, if you want to take a look ahead at the projects that are coming and the rubrics we'll use to grade them, that information is here, as are peer review instructions, handouts, sorry, I didn't mean to click on that, a link to our YouTube playlist. I will always link you to the videos, but if you want to just go to the playlist, the link is here. We've also got links to the Missouri State Writing Center, which you all have access to, and I urge you to take advantage of. You are already paying for it, and it is available to you as online students. Links to the library at Missouri State, you will need that as we go through. A link to the OWL at Purdue, which will help you with MLA citations, as will these sample pages. And NightCite, which is, and we'll talk about this more later, a link to a tool that will help you just generate your works cited entries for your works cited or reference page. If you put in all of the right information, it will create the entry for you. And we'll talk about that more in the coming weeks as well. And then the rest of these are all handouts that we use in the course of the class. They're all here in course documents, so you don't have to fish through the weekly units. Speaking of weekly units, right here, this, in addition to the game plan, is the tab that you will need to refer back to the most every week. And you'll notice right now they're grayed out because I'm about to make them available to you as we go through. Soon you will have access to all of these weeks. Right now, you probably only have access to week 1, depending on when you watch this video. But every week, come to that folder, click on that folder. You should do this at the beginning of the week, if not before the week that comes. So that way you know all of the work that you'll need to do. I will post exactly what you need to do in your discussion forum or in the wiki, what your journal will be, what you need to read for that week, and a reminder of the projects and due dates and deadlines. There'll be lectures in here, all of the things that you would do if you went to class in a seated environment. That's what's going to be there in those weekly units folders. Okay? Yes, all of that material is required, even though the game plan is over here. Okay? One last thing that I want to make sure you have access to, or know that you have access to, is this tab right here, My Library. We will need to use the library. Now, you may or may not physically go to the library, depending on where you are right now as you're listening to this. But you have access to the library online. Please follow these links. Take advantage of it. This is the biggest resource that you are paying for in this class. So, again, that link is right here so that you have easy access to it. When you're doing research, I expect you to use it. Okay, if you have any questions about the Blackboard site, where things go, don't hesitate to email me, and I will look forward to working with you and answering your questions.